Commander Elena Torres leaned back in her chair, the soft hum of the Horizon's engines providing a familiar backdrop as she reviewed the latest reports from the Federation. Life aboard the ship had settled into a routine of exploration and trade, punctuated by the occasional skirmish with pirates. But today, a new communication flickered onto her console, pulling her attention away from her paperwork. "Commander," her first officer, Lieutenant Rabi Singh, said, glancing at the screen. "You might want to see this." Elena straightened, intrigued. The transmission had a high priority tag, marked with the insignia of the Zenthari Empire, a starburst wrapped in swirling tendrils. She activated the screen, revealing the stern face framed by elaborate golden headdress and shimmering robes. "Commander Torres," the figure said, his voice deep and commanding. "I am Chancellor Drazik of the Zenthari Council. We have an urgent request." Elena's brow furrowed. "Go on." "Our princess, Lyra, is in need of immediate transport to Celestra Prime for a diplomatic summit. You are to take her aboard the Horizon ***. No exceptions." The straightforwardness of the demand caught Elena off guard. Is there a reason she requires a human ship? Drazik's expression hardened. Recent intelligence suggests a rise in piracy targeting Zenthari vessels. Our council believes that a human ship, with its reputation and combat prowess, offers the best chance of safe passage. Elena glanced at Ravi, whose eyes were wide with curiosity. "Understood. We'll make the necessary arrangements. Your compliance is appreciated. We will send Princess Lyra's transport ship to your coordinates immediately," Drazik said before the transmission abruptly cut off. As the screen flickered back to the ship's standard interface, Elena felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. The Zenthari were a powerful race known for their advanced technology and rich cultural heritage, but their aristocracy was shrouded in tradition. She had heard stories of their haughty demeanor and rigid hierarchy, and she braced herself for the encounter. "Get the crew ready for a royal visitor," Elena ordered. "We need to prepare the ship for her arrival." Ravi raised an eyebrow. "Any specific requests we should anticipate, Commander?" "From what I know, probably everything." Elena sighed. "Expect extravagant demands. Exotic foods, specific quarters, and perhaps a whole new set of protocols." As the crew scurried to prepare, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that this mission would be more complicated than usual. The Zenthari princess was not just a passenger. She was a symbol of her empire. If anything went wrong, it could jeopardize the fragile peace between their peoples. Within the hour, a sleek Zenthari transport ship docked with the Horizon. Elena stood at the airlock, flanked by Ravi and a small welcoming party. The tension was palpable as they awaited the arrival of Princess Lyra. The airlock hissed open, revealing the princess in all her splendor. She stepped into the ship with an air of confidence, her deep violet skin glistening under the ship's lights. Lyra's eyes swept over the crew, evaluating them with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. "Commander Torres," she said, her voice smooth yet commanding, "I trust your ship will provide the utmost comfort for my journey." Elena met her gaze, determined to maintain her composure. "Welcome aboard, Princess. We'll ensure your needs are met." Lyra smiled, though there was an edge to it. "I hope so. I am not accustomed to subpar conditions." As the crew moved to show her to her quarters, Elena felt a spark of tension ignite between them. This would be no ordinary journey, and she knew they were both about to embark on a path that would challenge their perspectives and their worlds. Princess Lyra strode down the Horizon's corridor, her presence demanding attention. The crew, caught between awe and apprehension, hurriedly moved aside. Elena walked alongside her, determined to maintain a sense of order, but Lyra's air of superiority was palpable, radiating from her like an invisible shield. "Commander, I trust your ship is equipped to accommodate my specific needs?" Lyra asked, her voice laced with an imperious tone. Elena's grip tightened on her datapad. "We have a full range of amenities, Princess. I assure you, we can meet your requests." Good, Lyra replied, casting a critical eye over the ship's metal walls. But I expect more than mere functionality. This is an imperial journey, after all. My comfort should be paramount. Alina resisted the urge to roll her eyes. Of course, Princess. We'll ensure your quarters are furnished to your liking. They reached the princess's quarters, a spacious room fitted with the ship's best enhancements, including holographic displays and an adjustable gravity setting. Lyra surveyed the space, her expression revealing nothing. I suppose this will suffice, she said with a hint of disappointment. As Lyra settled in, Alina turned to leave but paused. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to call. I'll keep that in mind, Lyra replied, already distracted by the holographic interface that flickered to life before her. Alina returned to the bridge, where Ravi awaited her. How did it go? He asked, amusement dancing in his eyes. Alina sighed. Let's just say, I expect the journey to be eventful. As the Horizon departed from the space station, Alina focused on their course to Celestra Prime, trying to shake off the feeling that they were walking into a storm. The ship soon settled into its rhythm, but the crew's mood was tense, amplified by Lyra's presence. Later that day, the crew convened for their routine briefing. As they gathered in the mess hall, chatter buzzed about the princess and the implications of having a royal on board. Think she'll demand a banquet, Ravi quipped, grabbing a plate. More likely a royal entourage. Another crew member laughed. She'll want us to serve her on our knees. Alina chuckled, but her amusement faded when she noticed Lyra entering the room, flanked by her own attendants. The atmosphere shifted, conversations dying down as eyes turned toward the Zenthari princess. Lyra approached the table with an air of authority. I require a selection of delicacies from across the galaxy. I have compiled a list, she declared, presenting it like a royal decree. Alina exchanged glances with her crew, who looked bewildered. Of course, Princess, she replied, striving to keep her tone respectful. We can arrange something suitable for you. See that you do, Lyra replied coolly, then turned on her heel, her attendants following like shadows. As the crew resumed their conversation, Alina felt a surge of frustration. All right, people, let's not lose focus, she said, raising her voice slightly. We have a mission to complete, and we need to work together. Let's prepare for whatever demands she throws our way. But Lyra's presence loomed large, a reminder of the tensions beneath the surface. The princess's demands began to pile up, specific cuisines from distant planets, cultural ceremonies to honor her arrival, and even a request for a private screening of Zenthari films. Alina found herself navigating a minefield of cultural clashes. During a training drill, Lyra interrupted, criticizing the crew's methods, her comments laced with thinly veiled condescension. This is hardly the way to prepare for an intergalactic summit, she said, arms crossed. Alina stepped forward, her voice steady. We train to respond quickly to threats, Princess. Adaptability is crucial in space. Lyra raised an eyebrow, unimpressed. Perhaps you should teach your crew to think with more sophistication. Alina's frustration flared. Sophistication won't save us if we're boarded by pirates. The tension crackled in the air, and the crew exchanged uncertain glances. In that moment, they were not just a captain and a princess. They were two worlds colliding, each struggling to find common ground. The journey ahead promised to challenge not only their skills, but their very perspectives on duty, honor, and the bonds of leadership. The Horizon sailed through the void of space, its engines thrumming steadily, but an undercurrent of tension lingered among the crew. Lyra's presence had ignited friction, and with each passing day, the demands grew more extravagant. Yet beneath the surface, both Alina and Lyra were beginning to sense that their worlds might intertwine in ways neither could have anticipated. On the bridge, Alina monitored the ship's systems, her eyes scanning the sensors for any signs of trouble. Ravi stood beside her, flipping through navigation charts. We're on course for Celestra Prime, but I don't like how quiet it is out here, he remarked, a hint of concern in his voice. Just as Alina opened her mouth to respond, the warning alarms blared, cutting through the relative calm. Red lights flashed ominously. "Commander," Ravi shouted, eyes wide. "We've got multiple contacts on the sensors. Pirates." Alina's heart raced as she swiftly activated the ship's defense protocols. "All hands, battle stations. Prepare for evasive maneuvers." She felt the adrenaline spike within her as the crew sprang into action, rushing to their posts. Lyra, appearing in the doorway, looked taken aback. "What is happening?" she demanded, her voice tinged with both fear and authority. "We're being attacked, Princess," Alina replied tersely, focusing on the control panel. "We need to move." "Move?" Lyra echoed incredulously. "Do you not have any?" "Now is not the time for debate," Alina snapped, cutting her off. "We're outnumbered. I need everyone focused." The ship shuddered as the first pirate vessel opened fire, bright orange beams lancing through space. Alina maneuvered the Horizon in a sharp turn, the crew gripping their consoles as the ship responded to her commands. "Enemy vessels are closing in fast," Ravi shouted. "They've got us flanked." In the chaos, Alina caught a glimpse of Lyra, who stood frozen, her eyes wide with fear. "Princess, I need you to move to the aft of the ship," she commanded, her voice steady. "It's not safe here." But Lyra stood her ground. "I will not hide like a coward," she declared, her defiance palpable. Alina felt a surge of frustration, but quickly pushed it aside. "Then help us. We need every hand available." To her surprise, Lyra nodded, stepping toward the control panel. "What can I do?" she asked, her voice firm now. "Ravi, run the tactical display for her," Alina instructed, impressed by Lyra's willingness to act. "We need to anticipate their next move." As Lyra absorbed the information, her posture shifted from defiance to determination. "They're attempting to breach our shields. If we can divert power to the aft, we can strengthen our defenses there." Alina raised an eyebrow, surprised by the princess's strategic insight. "Do it. Ravi, follow her lead." The crew worked in concert, the bridge buzzing with urgency as they implemented Lyra's suggestions. For the first time, Alina felt a genuine sense of teamwork blossoming between them. "Enemy ships are firing again," Ravi warned, sweat beading on his forehead. "We're taking hits on the starboard side." "Evasive maneuvers. Adjust angle 20 degrees," Alina commanded, gripping her seat. The Horizon swerved sharply, narrowly avoiding the pirate beams. With newfound resolve, Lyra began relaying coordinates and tactical maneuvers, her earlier haughtiness replaced by a fierce focus. "Commander, if we flank their left vessel, we can disable their weapon systems." "On it," Alina shouted, heart racing. As they executed Lyra's plan, the Horizon veered toward the pirates. The crew worked in unison, adrenaline fueling their movements. In a dramatic moment, they successfully disabled one of the enemy ships, which exploded in a shower of debris, sending a wave of relief through the bridge. Cheers erupted, but there was no time to celebrate. The remaining pirates were relentless, retaliating with fierce determination. As the Horizon engaged in a tense standoff, Lyra's voice rang out above the chaos. "They won't stop until they have the princess. We must create a diversion." "Ravi, set a course for that asteroid field," Alina ordered, her mind racing. "We can use it to our advantage." Diverting power to engines, Ravi responded, heart pounding. The ship lurched forward, entering the asteroid field where the rocky terrain would mask their movement. They weaved between colossal boulders, dodging incoming fire, and Alina marveled at how far Lyra had come from the entitled royal she had first encountered. "Keep them busy, princess," Alina shouted as they maneuvered through the field. Lyra quickly worked on the tactical display, organizing the crew's fire patterns to keep the pirates off balance. In that moment, the lines between human and Xanthuri blurred as they fought not just for survival, but for the future they both hoped to see, a future intertwined, united against a common threat. The horizon emerged from the asteroid field, the cacophony of battle fading behind them. As the crew took a moment to catch their breath, adrenaline still coursed through their veins. Alina turned to Lyra, who was surveying the bridge with a newfound respect. "That was impressive, Princess," Alina admitted, her voice steady despite the lingering tension. "Your tactical skills saved us." Lyra nodded, a flicker of pride in her violet eyes. "I may be royal, but I have been trained for these situations. I did not expect to be forced to utilize my skills so soon." "Welcome to the unpredictable nature of space travel," Alina said, her tone lightening. "I have a feeling this mission is only just beginning." As they regrouped, Ravi ran a systems check. "We need to assess any damage," he said, his fingers flying across the controls. "If we took hits, we need to patch up fast." Lyra moved to stand beside him, her attention shifting to the readouts. "I can help," she offered, her earlier arrogance replaced with genuine interest. "I am familiar with Xanthuri technology." Alina exchanged glances with Ravi, who nodded slightly, clearly impressed by Lyra's eagerness to contribute. "All right, let's see what you've got," he replied, shifting the focus of the display. As the crew worked on repairs, Alina took a moment to reflect. Despite the chaos, she couldn't shake the feeling that something deeper lay beneath the surface of their interactions. Lyra was more than just a princess. She was a warrior in her own right, driven by a desire to protect her people. Later that evening, while the crew took turns on watch, Alina found herself in the ship's small galley, trying to process the day's events. She poured herself a cup of synthesized coffee, savoring the warm aroma. Just then, Lyra entered, her regal demeanor softened in the dim light. "Commander," she began, her tone more contemplative, "thank you for allowing me to contribute during the battle." Alina turned to face her, surprised by the sincerity in Lyra's voice. "You earned your place on this ship, Princess. You were invaluable today." Lyra smiled, but it faded as she continued. "I must confess, I did not come to this mission purely for diplomatic purposes. There are those within my empire who wish to see me fail, factions that fear a human alliance." Alina studied Lyra carefully. "You think someone set this ambush?" "I do," Lyra replied, her expression growing serious. "I overheard a conversation before I left. There are whispers of a conspiracy aimed at destabilizing the treaty negotiations. Why didn't you tell me sooner?" Alina asked, feeling a mix of frustration and concern. "Because I did not wish to appear weak," Lyra said, her voice dropping to a whisper. "A princess must always be strong, even when faced with danger." Alina felt a surge of empathy. "You're not weak for sharing this. We're in this together now, and I need you to be honest with me." Lyra took a deep breath, the weight of her responsibilities apparent. "Very well. I suspect that one of my own advisors is involved. They view our alliance with humanity as a threat to our traditions. If they succeed, it could mean war." "Then we need to be prepared," Alina said, determination creeping into her voice. "We'll keep an eye out for anything suspicious." As they spoke, the lights dimmed momentarily, a sign that the ship was running on reserve power. Alina frowned, glancing at the control panel. "Ravi, what's going on?" she called through the intercom. "Commander, we're experiencing power fluctuations in the core." Ravi replied, urgency seeping into his voice. "It might be from the damage we sustained during the attack." "Can we stabilize it?" Alina asked, her heart racing. "I'll try, but I need the auxiliary control module active." Ravi's voice crackled through the speakers. "Lyra, can you assist him?" Alina asked, already moving toward the engineering bay. "Of course," Lyra said, her expression sharpening into focus. "I can interface with the systems." Together, they hurried to the engineering bay, where the air was thick with tension. Ravi was already hunched over a console, fingers racing over the controls. Lyra joined him, her confidence growing as she began issuing commands. Redirect power from non-essential systems, Lyra instructed. We need to stabilize the core before we lose propulsion. Alina watched as they worked in tandem, their minds merging into a single purpose. The situation was dire, but as she observed the growing synergy between Lyra and Ravi, a flicker of hope ignited within her. They were no longer just a captain, a princess, and a first officer. They were a team, united against a common threat. And together, they would face whatever awaited them in the shadows, determined to uncover the truth and protect their fragile alliance. The tension in the engineering bay thickened as Lyra and Ravi worked furiously to stabilize the power core. The control panels flickered ominously, casting erratic shadows on their faces. Alina hovered nearby, scanning the room, her instincts heightened. Time was not on their side. They needed to regain full control before their vulnerability attracted more trouble. Status report. Alina shouted, her voice cutting through the whir of machinery. We're rerouting power now, Ravi said, his brow furrowed in concentration. But if we don't fix the core soon, we might lose thrust altogether. Lyra's fingers flew over the console as she navigated the Zenthari systems, her determination evident. There, she exclaimed, her voice filled with urgency. If we can boost the auxiliary power, we might create a temporary shield around the core. Alina nodded, her heart racing. Do it. We need to buy ourselves some time. As Lyra executed the command, a series of alarms blared. Power fluctuations detected. The system warned, a mechanical voice echoing through the bay. The lights dimmed further, and the ship shuddered. We need to contain this, Ravi shouted, his hands moving deftly. If the core breaches, then we all go up in flames, Lyra finished, her voice steely. Let's not let that happen. Just then, the doors slid open, and Lieutenant Marisol, a technician, rushed in, her face pale. Commander, I've got something. The surveillance feed from earlier. It caught a transmission. Alina's eyes widened. What do you mean? From where? The galley, just before the pirate attack. Marisol replied, breathless. There was someone speaking to a group of individuals, Zenthari nobles. They were discussing plans to undermine the mission and target the princess. Alina felt a chill creep up her spine. Play it back. Marisol quickly pulled up the recording on the screen. The video displayed a small gathering. The Zenthari nobles clearly agitated. One figure stood out, his face partially obscured, but his voice was unmistakable. We must ensure the princess does not succeed, he argued, fervently gesturing. An alliance with the humans would be catastrophic. If we eliminate her, the treaty will falter, and we can maintain our traditions. Alina clenched her fists, anger rising. This is it. We've found our traitor. Lyra stepped closer, her expression hardening. Who is it? Marisol analyzed the footage. It looks like it's Advisor Kresh. He's been vocal against the alliance and has been in close contact with the Zenthari factions opposed to this treaty. Advisor Kresh, Lyra murmured, her voice low. He was always cautious, always questioning my decisions. I thought he was just loyal to our traditions. He's been plotting against you, Alina said, her voice steady. We need to confront him and make sure he can't act on this. But we have to be careful. He could be dangerous. As they spoke, a loud crash echoed from the main deck, followed by the sound of shouting. The ship lurched, throwing them off balance. What was that? Ravi shouted, scrambling to regain his footing. Alina rushed to the door. Stay here. I'll investigate. She dashed out into the corridor, heart pounding. The chaos intensified as crew members ran past her, their faces grim. Alina moved toward the sound of commotion, arriving at the bridge just in time to witness the aftermath of an explosion. The control panel was sparking, and crew members were struggling to contain the fire that erupted from the console. At the center of the chaos stood Advisor Kresh, flanked by armed Centauri guards. "Commander Torres," Kresh sneered, a twisted smile on his lips. "I was wondering when you'd show up." "Advisor Kresh," Elena said, trying to maintain her composure despite the danger. "What are you doing here?" "Ensuring that the princess doesn't reach Celestra Prime," he replied, his voice dripping with malice. "Your naive attempts at alliance will end here. It's time to show the humans their place." Lyra burst onto the bridge behind Elena, eyes blazing with determination. "You won't get away with this, Kresh." Kresh turned his attention to Lyra, his expression darkening. "Ah, the little princess thinks she can defy tradition. You've put us all at risk with your foolish ambitions." Elena's mind raced. They were outnumbered, and the situation was volatile. "We have evidence of your treachery," she declared, stepping forward. "You conspired against the treaty and endangered your own princess." Kresh laughed, the sound chilling. "Evidence? You think anyone would believe you? I have allies, and they will see to it that I am protected." Before Elena could respond, the guards moved to flank Kresh, weapons drawn. Lyra stepped closer to Elena, her resolve unwavering. "We'll take him down together. He cannot be allowed to escape." "Agreed," Elena said, her heart pounding. "But we have to be smart about this." The standoff on the bridge was electric, the air thick with tension as Kresh and his guards loomed like a storm. Elena's heart raced as she assessed their options. She couldn't afford to show fear. Not now. Lyra stood resolutely beside her, a fierce determination etched across her face. "Kresh," Elena began, her voice steady, "you're outnumbered. Surrender now, and we might be able to negotiate your fate." Kresh's laughter echoed in the confined space. "Negotiate? With traitors? You think I would trust you or your pathetic alliance? You have no idea what you're up against." Elena took a step forward, her eyes narrowing. "You're not the only one with allies, Kresh. We have evidence against you. And once we reach Celestra Prime, you will face justice for your actions." Kresh scoffed, motioning to his guards. "You think you can intimidate me with your threats? Guards, seize them." As they lunged forward, Elena reacted instinctively. "Get back," she shouted, pushing Lyra behind her. The bridge erupted into chaos as Elena ducked, narrowly avoiding a strike from one of the guards. Ravi and Marisol rushed in from the galley, their expressions alarmed. "What's going on?" Ravi yelled, quickly assessing the scene. "Get the crew to safety," Elena shouted, her mind racing. "We need to secure the bridge." Just then, Lyra found her voice, stepping forward with unexpected authority. "Kresh, you will not harm us. I am the princess of the Xanthari Empire, and I command you to stand down." The guards hesitated, glancing at Kresh, who sneered at Lyra's defiance. "You think your title means anything here? You are a puppet in their game, but your strings will be cut, and your empire will crumble." With a quick motion, Elena activated the emergency override on the bridge doors, sealing them shut. "We're locking this down," she said. "We can't let them escape or bring more reinforcements." Kresh's eyes flashed with anger. "You're making a grave mistake, Commander. You cannot hold me here. My allies, are they outside?" Elena interrupted, a spark of inspiration igniting in her mind. "Because if they are, we can deal with them, too." Ravi took a step forward, readying his stance. "We need to take out Kresh's guards first. They're our immediate threat." "Right," Elena agreed. "Lyra, can you help us with the Xanthari technology? If we can disable their weapons." Lyra nodded, determination flaring in her violet eyes. "I can interface with the ship's systems to disrupt their weapons, but we need to act quickly before they regroup." With a shared nod, they formed a plan. Elena directed Ravi and Marisol to flank the guards while she and Lyra focused on the systems. As Lyra connected to the control panel, her fingers danced over the console, accessing the weapons systems with a combination of human and Xanthari technology. "Stand back," Lyra shouted, and in a flash, she initiated the override. redirecting the energy flow from the guards' weapons. Elena seized the moment, moving in with Ravi. They engaged the guards, who were momentarily disoriented. Elena tackled one guard to the ground while Ravi dealt with another, using the ship's training protocols to swiftly subdue them. "Get the last one," Elena urged, glancing back at Lyra, who was focused on the console. Lyra's voice rang out, fierce and commanding. "Done." Their weapons are now disabled. With renewed vigor, Elena and Ravi swiftly incapacitated the last guard, securing the area. Breathing heavily, they stood back to assess the situation. The bridge was a mess, but they had gained control. Kresh, realizing his predicament, glared at them with pure venom. "You think you've won? This is only the beginning. I will not be silenced." Elena stepped forward, eyes locked on him. "You'll face justice for your actions, Kresh. You've endangered your princess and your empire. This ends now." Ravi, still catching his breath, added, "Let's get him in the brig. We need to contact Celestra Prime and report everything." Lyra approached the console, her expression resolute. "We must act quickly. If Kresh has allies, they might try to retaliate. We need to warn the Council of his treachery." As they began to secure Kresh, the bridge's alarms blared again. "What now?" Marisol exclaimed, her eyes wide. Elena rushed back to the control panel. "We're being hailed." "Put it through," Lyra ordered, her voice firm. The screen flickered to life, revealing a familiar face. Chancellor Drazik. His expression was grave. "Commander Torres, we've received reports of an ambush. Are you in danger?" "We've dealt with Kresh and his guards," Elena replied, her heart racing. "But we need immediate assistance to ensure our safety and secure the princess." Drazik nodded, his eyes narrowing with concern. "Hold your position. We're sending reinforcements. This conspiracy will not go unanswered." As the connection ended, Elena felt a mix of relief and urgency. They had bought themselves time, but the shadows of betrayal still loomed large. The fight wasn't over. They were still racing against time to secure their alliance and uncover the full extent of Kresh's treachery before it was too late. With Kresh subdued and the immediate threat neutralized, the atmosphere on the horizon shifted from chaos to a tense focus. Elena, Lyra, Ravi, and Marisol regrouped in the bridge, determined to solidify their next steps. "Can we trust Kresh to stay quiet?" Elena asked, glancing at the advisor, who sat restrained in a corner, glaring at them with malice. Lyra stepped closer to Kresh, her expression fierce. "He will not hesitate to seek revenge if he gets the chance. We need to ensure he is isolated from any allies he might have." Ravi nodded, checking the security protocols. "I'll secure him in the brig and increase the guard. No one gets in without clearance." Elena felt a wave of relief. "Good. Once we're safe, we can interrogate him and find out exactly who he's working with." As Ravi moved to handle the logistics, Lyra turned to Elena. "What about our communications? We need to inform Celestra Prime of what transpired and request their assistance." "I'm on it," Elena replied, her fingers flying across the controls. "We need to set up a secure channel to avoid interception." As she worked, Lyra's gaze drifted to the viewports, where the vastness of space lay beyond. "This is more than just about me, isn't it? This alliance, it's about both our peoples." Elena glanced at Lyra, appreciating the weight of her words. "It is. If Kresh succeeds, it could fracture everything we've worked for. We can't let that happen." With the secure channel established, Elena initiated the communication. The screen flickered to life again, revealing Chancellor Drazik, his expression stern but resolute. "Commander Torres, report," he demanded. Elena took a breath, her resolve hardening. "Chancellor, we've encountered an attempted sabotage by Advisor Kresh, who conspired to undermine the alliance with humanity. He attempted to thwart our mission and endanger Princess Lyra's life." Drazik's brow furrowed. "This is a serious accusation. Are you certain of his involvement? We have evidence, Alina said firmly. Kresh was communicating with factions opposed to the treaty. We believe they planned to ambush us. Very well, Drazik replied, his voice steady. We will send a security team to your location to secure Kresh and assist you further. In the meantime, be vigilant. We cannot allow this situation to escalate. As the channel closed, Alina turned to Lyra, who appeared deep in thought. What will happen now? Lyra asked, her voice softening. Will my people support me after this? They will have no choice, Alina said, feeling a surge of confidence. If they see you standing strong, they will rally behind you. Your bravery today has proven your worth as a leader. Lyra offered a small smile, the weight of uncertainty lifting slightly. Thank you, Alina. I have relied too heavily on tradition. It is time for a new path. Before they could continue their conversation, alarms blared throughout the ship. What now? Marisol shouted, glancing at the control panel. We've got incoming contacts, Ravi reported, urgency flooding his voice. Multiple ships approaching fast. Are they friendly? Alina asked, her heart pounding. Negative, Ravi replied, eyes wide. They matched the signature of Kresh's allies. Get us ready for evasive maneuvers. Alina commanded, adrenaline coursing through her veins. Lyra, can you access the ship's defenses? Already on it. Lyra shouted, fingers flying over the console as she activated the shields. We need to protect ourselves while we wait for backup. Alina took her position at the helm, heart racing. Prepare to engage evasive tactics. We'll need to outmaneuver them until our reinforcements arrive. As the ship shook under the incoming fire, Alina felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. They were not just fighting for their lives. They were fighting for the future of an alliance that had the potential to change the course of history. Hold steady, Alina shouted, weaving the horizon through the onslaught of fire. The viewports erupted with flashes of light as enemy ships engage, their intent clear. Ravi, coordinate with Lyra on targeting, she ordered. Let's disable their ships before they can regroup. As the crew sprang into action, Alina realized that the battle ahead would not only test their skills, but also their unity. They had to stand together against the shadows that threatened to engulf them, drawing strength from their shared determination to protect their fragile alliance, and perhaps, in the process, forge a bond that would transcend their worlds. The horizon rocked violently as enemy fire pounded against its shields. Alina felt the ship tremble beneath her command, but she pushed through the chaos, focusing on the view ahead. The enemy vessels loomed large, their intentions clear. They wanted to capture or destroy them before they could reach safety. Target their weapon systems, she shouted, adrenaline coursing through her veins. Lyra, can you amplify the power to our forward cannons? On it, Lyra replied, determination in her voice. Her fingers danced over the console, redirecting energy from non-essential systems. We'll have an extra punch in 3, 2, 1. Alina didn't hesitate. Fire. The horizon erupted in a volley of brilliant light as energy beams shot forward, striking one of the enemy vessels squarely in its engines. The ship erupted in a shower of debris, sending a wave of relief through the crew. Nice shot, Ravi yelled, glancing at Lyra with admiration. But there was no time for celebration. 2 more enemy ships advanced, and their weapons were charging. More incoming, Marisol shouted from her station, frantically updating the status on the display. They're regrouping. We need to reposition. Ravi, help me adjust the trajectory. Alina commanded, her focus razor sharp. Together, they adjusted the ship's course, dodging incoming fire with deft maneuvers. The horizon danced between the beams, a testament to Alina's piloting skills. Lyra, how's the shield? She called out, gauging their defenses. Hold steady, Lyra said, her voice steady despite the turmoil. We've got some fluctuations, but it's holding for now. As Elena took a sharp turn, another blast rocked the ship, and the lights flickered. "Status report," she demanded, concern flooding her voice. "Shields at 50%, Marisol shouted. "We can't take much more of this." Just then, the console beeped, and an alert flashed across the screen. "Reinforcements are en route," Ravi exclaimed, hope rekindling in his voice. "They'll be here in 2 minutes." 2 minutes too long, Elena retorted, determination hardening her resolve. "Lyra, can we disable their systems before backup arrives?" "Yes, I can reroute some of our power to their targeting systems," Lyra said, already initiating the command. "But we have to act fast." "Do it," Elena urged. "We'll hold them off until then." The horizon surged forward, weaving through enemy fire. Elena felt the tension in the air. Every second counted. Kresh's allies were relentless, and they wouldn't stop until they succeeded in their mission. "Firing now," Lyra announced, fingers flying across the controls. A surge of energy pulsed through the horizon and the enemy ships flickered as their targeting systems went offline. "Now's our chance," Elena shouted. "Engage." The crew fired back, their shots more accurate now that the enemy couldn't aim. The remaining ships were caught off guard, and one went spiraling into the darkness, a testament to their combined efforts. Come on," Elena urged, her heart pounding. They needed to push through the final waves. Suddenly, alarms blared again, but this time it was different. "Reinforcements arriving," Marisol called out. 3 ships are entering the fray." Finally, Ravi cheered, a grin breaking across his face. "We've got backup." The ships that appeared bore the insignia of Celestra Prime, their weapons charging as they took aim at Kresh's allies. With a coordinated assault, the reinforcements joined the fray, turning the tide of battle in their favor. "Celestra forces, engage," a voice crackled over the comms. "Commander Taurus, we're here to assist." "Thank you, Chancellor Drazik," Elena replied, relief flooding her. "We need to disable Kresh's remaining ships." Together, the horizon and the reinforcements unleashed a barrage of fire, striking down the remaining enemy vessels. One by one, they fell, the remnants of Kresh's conspiracy dismantled before their eyes. As silence fell over the battlefield, the crew of the horizon shared a collective breath of relief. They had done it. Lyra turned to Elena, her expression a mix of gratitude and resolve. "Thank you for believing in me, for standing by my side." Elena smiled, feeling the weight of the battle lift. "We're in this together, Lyra. This alliance is more than just politics. It's about trust and unity. We'll build a future together." As Kresh was taken into custody by the reinforcements, the bridge of the horizon buzzed with excitement and camaraderie. They had faced shadows, deception, and danger, but they emerged stronger than ever. The path ahead was uncertain, but they would face it together. United as allies, their journey was only just beginning. With hope rekindled, they set their course for Celestra Prime, ready to forge a new legacy in the vast expanse of space.